Hello, everyone. Welcome to DADennial. I'm your host, Mike Trenk, licensed clinical mental health counselor. And today is kind of a special follow-up from one of the prior episodes. So if you've seen from the season, I had on a guest named Parana. He's a coach, and he has this program called The Call to Rise. And after talking to him and hearing the podcast doing it, I felt like this is my chance to try something different because, as many males, we just kind of get stuck of, I have to get to the gym. I have to go to the gym a certain number of days a week. I have to do this kind of fitness, which I used to do maybe 20 years ago, and I just couldn't get it done. So I want to thank Coach Brian Parana first here for getting me involved in the Call to Rise. Brian Parana, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. And Mike, it's been awesome working with you, and so happy for our progress and the momentum that we've been able to build going into this holiday season. And you are continuing to do, regardless of it being, again, the holiday season, which so many guys fall off track here and they just it's Christmas time, I'll just get back to in January. But...
Yeah. So I want you to talk a little bit about it, but first I wanted to mention for me, the big difference was every Wednesday night you have a Call to Rise meeting where even though you're in a different state than I am, it doesn't matter. You can be in any one of the 50 states and beyond. And through our world of technology, that we have a support group. We get to meet up and you give us questions to answer beforehand, if how you're doing, if there's questions to ask during the group meeting, which I felt was probably the most invaluable part, along with the fact that your program, that you constantly have an app that we text you and you text us if I haven't heard from you, what's going on, send me a picture. And just that accountability was, I feel like, the biggest difference that I've seen in your program. But I want to hear more about the program so others can hear about it and reach out to you.
Well, what was the product? Let's talk about the product. Let's hook them in. What was the results for you in terms of course, brass tacks? How much weight did you lose, right? That's what everyone wants to know. And then, what was one easy takeaway that has really made a difference for you?
Yeah. So in all fairness and honesty, nothing to hide here. This is, 100% DADennial. I was at about 340 pounds. And the biggest thing in my mind, even though I'm a therapist and I have so many tools to manage feelings and emotions and how to help people and lose weight, I just always had this vision of until I get to a certain weight, for me it was 210, 220, I can't get to be where I feel like I should be in life.
Right.
And just being stuck there for so long, for so many years, really started to weigh on me, literally and figuratively. But your program offers just something different. It's not going to the gym, it's not how many reps do you do, it's literally, you simplify it down to, it's what you eat, what you take in and how many steps you do. And just breaking it down for me was just oh, okay, well, I haven't, I can do that. And just doing that. And my new addiction now is smoothies. I have about 2 or 3 to 4 a day of fruits, vegetables, and that's what I do when I'm hungry, instead of looking for snacks or my ADD kind of getting in the way of I just need something now, and end up going to a fast food drive-through. That's made the world of difference, and just that accountability that you provide through the Call to Rise, I think is the biggest difference. That it's not having to get to a gym, figure out time to do that. It's your own time, and we can reach out to you anytime on the Call to Rise app that you have. I think that.
Yeah. What was the weight loss?
Oh, so right now I am at 310, so 30 pounds down right now.
That's incredible.
So trying to get, first goal is being under 300, seeing the scale of in the 290s. It's just been way too long. I can't even tell you how many years, but it's a good feeling to know of making progress and getting.
I'll be the second one to welcome you under, right? You'll welcome with your wife first, right? Yay! You have a big milestone, and then I'll be the second one to celebrate with you on that. Because it's coming. It's just a matter of time now, right? It's not a matter of if, how, why, or any of that stuff. It's just, okay, I have a process, I have a plan, and all I have to do is these simple things day in and day out for consistency, and then I get a better outcome. And so what we're talking about here, everyone, we're talking about the Call to Rise. It's a 100-day fat loss challenge. The goal is to lose 20 plus pounds in 100 days and start working on nutrition, fitness, your lifestyle in a supportive and accountable manner. I, being the team lead, hold everyone to a high level of accountability and support. Mike will tell you there's so many times I said, Mike, let's jump on a call, or text me, or what you doing over there, or just asking simple questions to help him understand or see what's going on around him to create his own level of accountability. All right, Brian, you're asking me this question. What do I want to focus on this week? And what was it, Michael? 80% full. That was a big undertone that you adopted from the habits worksheet that allowed you to not overeat, which then kept you in a calorie deficit. And then we've then found smoothies to be an easy, enjoyable way to keep you from over consuming snacks and calories, which wins.
And for everyone that did things differently, smoothies was just my thing, but I know it was part of that camaraderie of hearing other people of like, they, meal prepped and did this, or they found new recipes. That's another thing too of on your website that you gave us a whole list of like, here's things that are easy, manageable that, you're not like going to the store to try to find specific things of it's just things that are already in your fridge and things that are like, okay, well, because it isn't just me, it's the kids, it's making food for the family of these are things I know the kids will eat too, and I've got them on board with
go over that quite a bit, right? Okay, we understand what you need to eat, but how do we make sure that the kids enjoy it as well, and it's something that can stick in the household with a young family? You have 2 young kids and they don't always want to eat vegetables, so that's something that you better be ingraining in them at their young age, or you will forever have that issue when they're in their teens and they really don't want to eat vegetables.
Right. No, and I don't want to discount too of there is an aspect, and I see it in the horizon for myself too, of like I still have weight, a lot of weight to lose, but it does also implore you to at least once a week, couple times a week, to try different basic things at the gym that aren't too strenuous. And I've done that too a few times, and I don't feel overloaded of like, if I miss a couple days of, well, that's it, I got to start all over again. And you feel defeated. It's always that constant of no matter what that you are kind of working at it, which is just from a psychology sense is it's all about the mindset, the physical and mental health working together of you're not feeling defeated, you're not feeling overwhelmed, you're not feeling like you're not hitting the target weight when you're saying of just a pound or two, like, well, that seems small at my weight, but that's okay, I can do that. And then you see that build and you feel that feeling of, okay, I want to get to the gym more, I want to continue this, because not just like how I feel and kids are involved, it is a mental health aspect of it that unlocks a lot. Now I can, after all these years, I can finally start seeing if, all right, that second part of the goal, right? The first part is under 300, and the next part of like, all right, I want to lose more weight to get to the gym a little bit more to continue.
Well, what does 5 years Mike look like? And getting him in the best possible position that he can.
Maybe 5 years, I might be going to Turkey to get one of those hair transplants. That's always on the cards. Depends on how I feel and how I look. And it's to go back to like that goal I've had for probably, being honest, about 15 years of where I am, like what I'm doing, DADennial, and my practice of it's just that thought in my own self of like, how can people believe and trust me if I look like this? No other way of putting it, I guess, but being honest.
It's a real thing, right? The congruency of you doing the thing that you're practicing, preaching, and living, and having a healthier, a happier, more energetic body and energy about you comes through. And that's why you even thought about, oh, okay, I had this guy on, he's saying these things. And I guess a 4-letter word, sometimes 4-letter words are good, right? And not always, but this one was, and hope, right? Our first conversation that we had on your podcast many months ago brought you some level of hope. And you're like, okay, can this guy actually help coach and teach and guide me through what has to happen, just like you do for all of your clients? You give them hope that they can live a healthier, happier life and do things and get unlocked from the chains that bind them, in a sense, that are often self-prescribed, right? They're self-attached, and all of a sudden you feel like you're dragging this ball and chain around. And I just gave you a key to unlock it. I can't unlock it for you, but I can give you the keys and show you how to unlock that ball and chain to start moving again and start going in the direction that you actually want to live, look, feel, and experience a life that's really exciting. And it's getting better, right? You're down 30 pounds. You can do more, literally, physically, and be able to keep up with the kids even just a little bit more. Or we talked about the knee challenge, and that is every 10 pounds less weight is 40 less pounds of pressure on your knees. That's huge. Right. It's huge.
So there's a level of, I won't say irony, but kind of like an Oprah reveal of, through this challenge and journey and the call to rise, right? It made me reach out because it was different. I was like, well, I'll try something different. And now I'm down 30 pounds. And now I have more motivation because things weren't feeling right in my body. And I went to the doctor and got some blood work. And now I find out even though I've never had issues before with A1C and glucose, now all of a sudden I do, even though I'm down more than I was a few months ago. So the irony of that, now it's even more motivation of, all right, these are things that are beatable and things that are manageable. And I think, so many men either don't pay attention to this blood work or getting it done. And I think it is important. And I think, this all kind of ties in of our health and working with men that, we need to be more aware. We need to be more accountable of our mental health, physical health. And I think the call to rise, that's why I wanted to have you back on, is to kind of, not just be testimonial, but just also kind of share too, once again, that it is different, it is manageable. And if you check on your physical health and you find out that things are higher than they should be, all of a sudden I'm like, all right, now I've already started, now I need to really step it up to not be on this kind of lifestyle for a long time, like I know some men have kind of stuck in that cycle too of having to take medication. And
even during our process, we noticed that there were maybe a little more challenging times, more demands on life. Kids were sick, in-laws were coming over for the holidays, all sorts of different things that get in the way of being consistent, of doing what you need to keep progress going. And those are real, tangible obstacles that get people tripped up, and then they fall back into old behaviors. And a lot of things that I'm working on is the mechanics. It's simple, it's not easy. Weight loss, weight maintenance, it's simple, it's not easy. And our goal is to make it as simple and easy as possible. And that's where I come into play. And what I've been doing the last 23 years is literally that phrase. I come in and make it simple and easy for you to reach your goals in whatever manner works best. And for you was different than what Lucas did. Lucas lost 30 pounds, but he did it differently than you. He tracked all his food and you didn't. He joined a running group and you didn't. And that's perfectly fine. Andy has been on a terror of about 80-day streak of 10K steps, and he travels a lot, and he tracks his calories. Well, he's down 30 pounds as well. You guys all had different lives, but between the three of you, you've lost 90 pounds in between 3 guys in 100 days, and that is crazy incredible. And it was just 2 simple conversations, asking you to pay attention, asking you to make better choices than you did before, asking you to move more than you did the prior week, and giving you a level of support that you haven't experienced, especially when it comes to weight loss. Because a lot of people try the plan, or they read a book, they do this thing that everyone's doing, or right now they're getting the shot, right? The GLP-1s are prevalent, and yes, they can provide an outcome, but it might not be a long-term solution. It might just be a Band-Aid that ultimately falls off, and then the issue is still there. You still overeat at night. You still get hungry in the day and choose a not so healthy option. You still get overwhelmed with what are we eating for dinner, and end up going out to eat and eating too many calories. I'm mentally tired from my day, and I'm tired, and I'm not going to go move my body, even though that probably is the best thing for you. And even from what you do, activity and eating healthy are the two easiest, fastest ways to improve your mental health for everyone that you talk to.
Right. And you mentioned GLP-1s. That is a common one that gets prescribed now by doctors, and even myself. I can only speak for myself, but that is something I did try last year of, all right, maybe this is a route. And just speaking personally here, of it really, the worst two things were just of like how your stomach felt, and just how it kind of just sidetrack your day, and just it would make you not want to eat for a lot. Like, it would just, you stare at food and literally make you sick to your stomach. And right when you did, after a few days after taking the shot, it would be like almost like a ravenous dog of like, I was finally feel like I wasn't gonna throw up or feel sick to my stomach, that I would just eat so much just to kind of make up for it. I felt like it. So it wasn't a good cycle to be in too. And I felt that was said too, of like, I can't even get work done during the day. I'm just kind of sitting in a chair, just waiting for the stomach pain to pass. So that wasn't good.
Talk about productivity being disruptive to your day, right? And your life and your mental health. I feel bad when I do this thing to get to the outcome that I want. And that's something that we focus on, you and I, but I do with everyone, is how do I make this process as positive as possible? Right? You always found me with lots of energy, lots of positive go-get-em attitude, lots of answers to your questions, lots of following up and checking in on you to make sure that you did the things that you wanted to do, and that level of accountability and support and direction. And it all attaches a positive outcome of, I can lose weight, I can eat healthier, I can move my body in a way that allows me to feel good about this whole process, and not, I'm starving, I only get to eat this 1-page sheet of paper, I have to take this shot and it makes me feel horrible, and have nobody wants. Food is love, it's happiness, it's joy, it's also sadness and anger and pain, and those are things that we see, you and I both, with the people that we work with, and we want to translate food into fun, enjoyment, and excitement, because we have to eat to live, and we might as well allow that everyday experience multiple times a day to be positive.
Right. And I think you've said it too, if you like ice cream, and so do I. So it's not even feeling that guilt of like, I can't have something or going without. It's more that mental state, which I can resonate and relate to, of, all right, if I have ice cream, that's fine. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm just going to have something lighter later, or I might go for a walk and, walk off some of these calories. It's just, it has more that mental side of, okay, I can understand the psychology of, because I always felt like the diets, or that food part of it, was always like you're going without, but you're not going without. You're just shifting small things. And even if you do, get something like ice cream or something that isn't the greatest thing, of, there's no reason to go without. There's no reason to beat yourself up. It's just kind of just shifting your mindset of, that's fine, I had ice cream, I'm gonna do something else tomorrow or later that's gonna even that out, kind of thing. So that was an important factor as well.
Some of the simplicity, just so that everyone listening can hear where we started. Can I get you to move? So we have the MFP protocol: movement, food choice, protocol, portion control is the third one. Movement. Can I get you to move more than you have been? Right. And then with the idea of, let's move more than 10,000 steps a day. Right. Do we go to the gym or not? You did occasionally, but that wasn't an undertone of you got to get to the gym every day of the week or something like that, right? Even the other guys, they only went 2 or 3 times a week at most, but they focus on improving their movement. So that's number one. Food choice. It gave you very clear understanding of what is in the food you're eating and how to combine it so we eat the right types of food at the right times in the right amount. So it becomes easier. We have a protein, a fibrous carb, think of fruit and vegetables, and we have a starchy carb. Those are the main players on the plate. And if we divide the plate up, it's very simple. Quarter of the plate protein, quarter of the plate a starchy carb. So those are similar in portion size. And then 2 or 3 times the amount of vegetables, right? How many times did I say, Mike, where are your vegetables at? Or can we get more? Hey, eat another pepper there, right? It kept getting on you. Why? Because it will fill you up on less calories. And that was the point, to stay full long enough until you got to your next planned meal. And that's what we wanted to do, is have a little more planning and preparation and not just winging it. Oh, I've worked 8 hours in a row and I don't know what to eat and I have nothing prepared and we're going out to eat. Right. And then the last thing was portion control. And I said it inside that plate image, but we're eating 3 or 4 times a day, having balanced meals that focus on moderation, balance, and flexibility built in today, so that if an ice cream cone does come up because the kids got a good grade on their report card, or there's this sporting activity or after school program that they did really well on, you want to celebrate that. That's part of life, right? You don't want to go there and just be the dad. Oh, my dad's working on his abs, he never eats ice cream with us, right? You don't want that to be part of your legacy with your kids. And that's, so everyone listening, those are some of the basics that we started with in the easiest way possible to then get Mike to buy into more. And eating the 80% full, he routinely said that was a big player that he would just stop eating when he recognized a level of fullness.
Yeah, now I got the kids with that mindset of not 80%, but they'll start like, oh, I'm 35% now. I'm like, how do you go 40%? Yeah, so now they'll work their way up to 80% when they'll stop. I also want to mention too that since we started, that you started your own podcast now. Where can people find you there?
Driven for Health podcast. You might see it as Nutrition for Men Over 40, Driven for Health, but Driven for Health is the easiest way to find it. And I just literally before this, I did a live stream on my 33rd episode since the end of September. So I've been on a go. I actually have a pre-interview podcast interviewing a guy on spine and spinal health. I have the live stream I did on my 33rd episode just before. We have this. I'm interviewing another guest that's talking about longevity, going into their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and so thriving later today. And then I'm on another podcast on another place with an Australian, and Vince is his name. So I'm doing mega podcast day today. Lots of talking to the microphone.
That's great that people can just listen to you and hear some of your tips that you're saying here and kind of elaborating on that in your own podcast. And I highly encourage the 100-day challenge.
Yeah.
And where can they find you? What's your website, The Call to Rise?
The website is www.thecalltorise.com. It's easy to see all what's happening there, the testimonials, the pictures, but there's a ton of questions asked and answered on the website too. It gives you very clear understanding of what we're going to do. It's 100 days. We're going to focus on nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, regardless of however busy you are or aren't. I promise you're not as busy as you think you are, or you can actually set time aside for your health and actually improve it regardless of the situations that you are in. And if you're looking for support, camaraderie, that's a huge part of this process, is the brotherhood, and having a small group of men that are there to support, to encourage, and if they're doing it, I should do it too, type of an idea. Because when you have people in your crowd and circle that are taking care of themselves, it's easier for you to take care of yourself as well. And you're not just having Brian, who's Mr. Fit or whatever, telling you to work out or something, and you're like, this guy doesn't understand where I'm at or anything. That's not true. This is the only thing I've done in my whole career for the last 23 years. So I very much understand the situation that you might be in, whether it's overweight, having bad blood panels, just 40s met with unmet expectations. This isn't what I was supposed to look like, feel like in my 40s. And we're all super busy, trying to play provider, trying to be a husband, trying to be a father, trying to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, an employee, a coworker, whatever. We have all these roles, but if you're not taking care of yourself, then you cannot live up to the demand that you have for it or be able to thrive in it either. It's all mask, and maybe you might have financial success, but that's great if you have a bunch of money in the bank, but when you're 60 and you have a heart attack, it's going to drain your bank account really quick, because that's a six-figure issue for you to deal with. So thecalltorise.com. I'd love to have a chat with you, and you can fill out the form and we can get started.
Yeah, definitely reach out to Brian and at least have a chat with him, because it definitely is different. You definitely feel engaged, feel supported, and feel like, all right, this is something that I can handle. And for men in this DADennial kind of world we're living in, that it is a great new tool and great community to be around. So I just wanted to share all that. I wanted to bring him back on and show an update and share that even I tried it and it's working so far. And yeah, I see just a great opportunities ahead because of it. So I want to thank you, and that's why I wanted to bring you on. And I appreciate your time, Brian. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you much.